friends, and welcome back to another video where today we will be looking at the 10 main story and character leaks revealed about the upcoming Amazon The Lord of the Rings TV series so far. In today's video, we will be ranking the leaks in terms of their most likely importance and impact on the actual plot of the Amazon show, and how significant they are as a leak. Of course, there are spoilers in today's video, but most leaks today, such as Isildur, you would have already known anyways before the show's premiere on September 2nd of 2022. As a quick disclaimer, everything said in today's video was written by Fellowship. So without further ado, let's get right into it. In at number 10, we have the Dwarven Collapse scene, which was, in fact, actually one of the first ever story leaks from us. It speaks about there being a massive mineshaft collapse, with the king barely making it out alive. Then, a few months later, it was revealed that the Dwarven queen sang a sad lament for all the deaths that occurred as a result of this collapse. This leak sounds like an invented event, but nothing too far-fetched, as it does seem like a mining accident of sorts, except for the fact that the Dwarven king barely makes it out alive. That's the main cause of intrigue with this leak. Could it be just an accidental mining collapse, or maybe they unearthed something? We shall have to wait and see. Next up, in at number 9, we have Hobbits and the inclusion mainly of Harfoots. Yes, this has been debated enough, and you already know our stance on their inclusion in the show, but as per Lenny Henry, that is all confirmed now, and we will have to just move forward. Since then, there have been 2 leaks around them, with the first one mainly revolving around the fact that they are called the quote pioneers and are traveling westward. Then, in the more recent bizarre leak, we have the Hobbits finding a person that has arrived in Middle-earth from the sky who doesn't remember much. A lot of the further speculation here on out really depends on who the mysterious man is, but that aside, it does seem like the Hobbits are going to be included within this side plot or story that is going on away from Numenor, etc. So let's see how things pan out. In at number 8, we have Loda's boat scenes. Firstly, since that leak, we now know that Loda is Lloyd Owen, who is Elendil. But the best thing about this leak is that for the first time in one of Tolkien's adaptations, we are out at sea and on massive ships. As, according to these rumors, there is a massive ship called Lotus Boat, which was said to have 2 important characters on with them as well. Speculating who these 2 characters might be may link up with our number 2 ranking, but besides that, seeing the colonial empire of Numenor at this period with their massive fleet will probably offer something new and dynamic to the realm of Tolkien and fantasy adaptations. In at number 7, we have Galadriel crossing the Helcaraxe in the pilot episode or episodes. While crossing this quote icy wastelands and traveling through mountains and snowy plains, she and a group of elves encounter an ice troll and get attacked, which is quite a unique interpretation of crossing the Helcaraxe, as surely the hazardous climate must have been enough. But here what we're really seeing is probably just the action and shock factor that casual audiences needed in order to be captivated in the first 2 episodes. In terms of character development though, this is probably here to establish the hardships that the character of Galadriel faced, giving more context to when we see her a few thousand years later in the Second Age. Next up at number 6, we have the Orc vs Numenorean battle scenes and sets. Some recent battle and war leaks have suggested that we will be seeing a lot of combat scenes between Numenoreans and Orcs, and that would indicate that at some point in Season 1, the Numenoreans will be going from their island to Middle-earth. Also, there was a castle set which the Orcs were occupying, which is quite unique in the sense that it seems like we're going to be seeing the Numenoreans laying siege to the Orcs at either the Orcs' stronghold or one of their own overtaken cities and towns. Battles and war were inevitable for a show of this magnitude, and really the execution of the action and set pieces of battle is the major factor here. Halfway there, in at number 5, we have Finrad. We leaked a while ago that Finrad was the character in the official promo picture released by Amazon a few months ago. This mainly raises the point that this will give vital context around the character of Galadriel, as Finrad is her brother, and maybe seeing his death at the hands of Sauron would provide a good pre-existing hatred between the main antagonist and protagonist once we are in the late Second Age. Who knows? We shall see. In at number 4, we have the confirmation of Elebrimbor, and that the scene of the making of the rings will be shown in Season 1. Automatically, if the scene of the making of the rings is being shown already in the first season, This would rule out a lot of storytelling if this were to be a mid-Second Age show, as you would expect that in at least Season 2 or after if that were the case. But at least we know that there will be a Elebrimbor, but maybe some don't like this, as they hope the spin-off show would be about Elebrimbor and the earlier Second Age. Whether we get this in a prologue or flashback remains to be seen. Next up, in at number 3, we have that Sauron is a character and involved in Season 1 of Lord of the Rings on Prime, but is a, quote, hooded, robed, yet menacing figure, and has spent quite a few months on the human village sets. It is great to know that there at least will be a Sauron, but knowing which character and actor is him remains to be seen, and maybe we won't even know that in Season 1. However, the other character of Adar, who is now said to be one of Galadriel's brothers resurrected, seems to be another Amazon invention of the lore, and is quite a dynamic approach to a character by having him twisted and tortured. But still, he is the leader of the Orcs, which confuses things even further. So at the moment, the evil in Season 1 is quite ambiguous. For the penultimate entry of today's video, we have, yes, Galadriel in Numenor. Probably one of, if not the most controversial story and plot leak so far, and is probably done by Amazon in order to connect the two detached realms of Numenor and Middle-earth, so the story isn't fully isolated in the first season. Also, the fact that Galadriel is sent as a messenger and emissary is quite a bold choice, but that really depends on whose reign we're under. If it's Tar Palantier's, then that makes perfect sense, as under his rule he was trying to rectify the past mistakes of the Numenor kingship. Similarly, if we're seeing the short reign, if any reign at all, for Tar Miriel, but if Pharazôn, then not at all. It seems like Miriel is queen at this point, whether fully Tar Miriel or acting as regent queen is yet to be seen. People's frustrations with this are understandable, but still the Second Age is a loose historical timeline, not a clear narrative, so there isn't much for them to be faithful to, lore or text-wise. Thematically wise, absolutely. But it was inevitable that there would be these drastic events, as this is a billion-dollar show, and walking around in a forest all day won't get you too far. As the rejected showrunner said in the now-deleted interview, Amazon wanted a big moment every episode. Finally, in at number 1, we have that Isildur will be one of the main characters from around episode 3 onwards in the upcoming Amazon Lord of the Rings TV series. The reason that he's from around episode 3 onwards is because he wasn't present for the filming of episode 1 or the 2 pilot episodes by J.A. Bayona, but instead he arrived in late December when filming for episode 3 and onwards began. But the reason this was number 1 is because it defines the show, it defines the setting and the stories we'll be seeing adapted. The character perfectly pieces everything together, as he's one of the only ones who survives the Second Age who isn't Elrond and Galadriel, who are already fan-known characters. The story of Isildur is epic, remorseful, triumphant, and tragic. Having him as one of the main characters was a no-brainer for Amazon. Overall, the biggest story leak this year revealed by us was probably the confirmation that Isildur will indeed be a character in the show, and perhaps as one of the main protagonists. It was also later confirmed that the role will be played by Maxim Baldry. And of course, considering that Isildur will be playing such a large role in the first season, this information seems to eliminate any chances that the show may at least begin in the mid-Second Age. Plot-wise, the most surprising leak has got to be Galadriel Numenor. It seems to be a pivotal aspect of Season 1, having her acting as a political diplomat and negotiating with allies in order to eliminate the threat of Sauron in Middle-earth. So now that we've covered all of those top 10 leaks from this last year, which one was your guys' favorite? Please let us know in the comments below, while also suggesting some that you didn't like, as not everything is going to be perfect. But thank you guys for watching, we really appreciate it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date with everything Fellowship of Fans. We'll see you next time.